The Y Experience with JJ Cannon, sponsored by Digital Delight, making holiday tech shopping easy. Take a look at their website at digitaldelight.com/shop, where they are featuring 6 must-haves to turn your basic home into a smart home. Support the Y Experience with JJ Cannon by becoming a Patreon. Every month, the Y Experience will receive a regular source of income from supporters like you who've pledged through Patreon. Having your ongoing support for as little as $1 a month means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us on the Y Experience. And, today we have an exciting show. My wife and I own Digital Delight. And in June of last year marked 19 years in business, and we wanted to celebrate. We wanted to celebrate with our team in a way that was fun yet memorable. Over the years, we've celebrated in all of the traditional ways. Lunches, water parks, a day of golf, you name it. We've probably done it. Most companies do this. It's a time to reflect, team build, and spend time with those you might only see in passing on the daily. You know what I'm talking about. Last year, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to celebrate, but create an experience that our team might not do on their own. Or maybe you don't know, Hope and I have always believed in giving back and have participated in a variety of different ways. With the Harvey flood, we became the receiver of giving. I never thought I'd be that person or in that situation. You just never know what tomorrow may bring, my friends. It was an emotional and scary time for us. Once the shock wore off and the reality started to come into focus, it was crazy. The devastating impact the flood had on my family and thousands of others was real. But because of community, the overabundance of support and giving revealed some of the daily stresses and allowed us to focus, or relieved some of those daily stresses and allowed us to focus on recovery. This experience cemented our desire to always give back when we could. So when it came time for us to celebrate with our team, we started looking for opportunities to give back with our team, and we found it. Today we are speaking with the Community Engagement Coordinator with the Houston Food Bank. For our new viewers and listeners, I'm JJ Cannon, 20-year husband and father of 2 beautiful girls. I'm CEO of Digital Delight. It's a smart home design and installation firm. I also get to co-host the Digital Ramble with my good buddy Chris Gamble, who's over in the UK. And I also hold a master's degree in being knocked down and getting back up. I want to encourage our viewers and listeners to share this episode, like, and follow our page. You can also watch our episodes on YouTube, and you can listen to the Y Experience podcast on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify. So, today I want to introduce our guest, Sean Crowl, Community Engagement Coordinator for the Houston Food Bank. Sean, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you
coming in and spending some time with me today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me out here and being able to represent the Houston Food Bank and talk a little bit more about what we do. I think people know about the Houston Food Bank, but maybe they don't know exactly what it is we do, and I hope to share a little more insight on that today.
Man, I tell you what, I knew about the Houston Food Bank.
Yeah.
And I've driven past it on occasion, but not until I got in there did I was floored. I could not believe the process that the Houston Food Bank and the efforts that they put forward for our community. Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with the Houston Food Bank?
Yeah, so I actually volunteered a lot when I was younger. So I played sports. I played baseball, played basketball, and a lot of times in order to be on the team or whatever it needs to do, they ask you to go out and do service projects or go volunteer. So I would volunteer with the Houston Food Bank. My family had a nice relationship with them. They constantly sent me and my older brother out to go volunteer. So I would go with school, I would go with church service, we'd go every now and then, and with my previous employment, we went as a day of service, we went to go volunteer, so we went to the food bank, and I've just always been amazed whenever it used to be on 59 and Cavalcade to where it is now on I-10. it's just grown, and it really kind of brought me in, and I always had a blast. They put on music, and I always had a lot of fun. So when I was, looking for employment, in between, I thought, what a no-brainer, to go to the Houston Food Bank, someplace that has helped a lot of people, that I've had a lot of fun every time I've gone there. Everyone on staff was always super nice to me. So it seemed like a no-brainer, and I actually got on starting out in volunteer services.
So in volunteer services, those are the people, whenever the volunteers show up for the beginning of the day, those volunteers are the ones that help get people to whatever their assigned task might be. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like almost like a project manager. Mm-hmm. So when the volunteers come in, I think now on the team we have about 7 or 8. That are in volunteer services, and so whenever you come in, you're greeted with a smile. We go over, safety and our presentation, and then we get our volunteers back into our different project areas. So just for example, is our carousel room. We are the only food bank in the nation that has this type of technology. It's worth $1.2 million. It was donated to us by HEB, and it was designed and engineered by the students at Texas A&M University. So we're really proud about that. So anytime people come in to volunteer, I always say, try to work in the carousel. If you can, if they give you the option, a lot of times they'll tell you, which project you're going to. But if they give you the option, I always say, try the carousel.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it that conveyor belt area that's like right in the middle of y'all's property?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I think when it's full, they can fit about 300 to 350 volunteers at a time, and it's broken up into 3 different sections or 3 different sorts. So the food comes in through, wherever it may be, whether it's a food drive, whether we're getting it from one of our corporate partners, wherever. It'll come in, and a lot of it's just kind of thrown together. They'll send us a box. Like if it's from a store, it's, hey, maybe we didn't sell this, or, it's not really doing too well, or maybe it might be about to expire, so they send it over to us. First sort, what they're doing is they're taking all that food that comes in, they're putting it into different categories, they put it in a bucket, they send it around that big conveyor belt, it goes to the second sort, they take that food, they put it into smaller subcategories. So for the one category may be, dry groceries. It gets over to the second category, it'll break it down to like cereal or nutritious foods or whatever. And then it goes back to our side of the line people who take those boxes, put them on pallets, and then we stack them up, and then we send those out to our partner agencies that we spread out across the different counties. And that way it's really easy because they weigh that product too. So anytime a partner agency calls us and they say, hey, we need, 5,000 pounds of cereal, we know, okay, that's 2 pallets or that's 3 pallets, whatever the case, and we can ship it out. It's easy, it's fast, and like I said, they'll throw music on. It's just, if you ever get a chance to come out and volunteer, I highly encourage it. It's a lot of fun.
I really am excited that we participated in that, and back in June we're going to head on back over there because it was so impactful for my team to get involved. And there are other ways that people can get involved. There's a really big one that's coming up called the SouperBowl for Caring event, and it's actually going on right now, and we're going to talk about more in detail about that event and charity giving event that y'all got going on at the end of the show here. Okay. Now, community engagement coordinator, what's the responsibility of that title? What do you do there?
I wear a few different hats, I like to say. So the main one that I'm over is all food and fun drives throughout Southeast Texas, all the area counties that we cater to. So if you're having a food drive, or if you want to have a food drive, you can go on our website, houstonfoodbank.org, and you can fill out a food drive proposal form. So if you just want to have one for your corporate office, or if you want to have it, just for a little neighborhood drive throughout your community, anyone can put in on it. Anyone can have their own food drive. Don't think, oh, I might be too big of a scale, or I might be too small of a scale. Literally, anyone can have one. They'll go on that page and they'll fill out the form, and it's really easy. It's just questions about your location, and we actually supply food drive boxes and bins. So don't think, oh, I have to go out and buy shipping containers. I have to go out and buy boxes. So we can provide that for you completely free of charge, and then you can have your food drive for as long as you want. And then when it's done, you coordinate with me. You can either send out a truck to go pick it up, or we can have you bring it up to the food bank. We'll weigh it for you. We'll give you a receipt for it, and kind of everything's all taken care of. All we're really asking you is just have the drive.
That's super cool of ways that our community can get involved, and they don't necessarily need to come on site, but they can do it remotely,
Of course.
and help as well. Now we're going to get into some stats, but what part of Texas is it? Just Houston, or are there a variety of counties in Texas that y'all work with?
Yes, sir. So we service over 18 counties throughout Southeast Texas, and that goes as far out as College Station all the way to like the Galveston, Victoria area, and we spread out east and west. That's the 18 counties. They're all throughout Southeast Texas. If you're in that area, chances are you're getting serviced by the Houston Food Bank.
You know, something that most people don't realize is how impactful and how much in need. I mean, it's kind of cool, but kind of not cool. It's like that double-edged sword, you know? And so I'm going to throw some stats up here on the screen for us to take a look at. And between 2017 and 2018, the Houston Food Bank serviced 800,000 individuals.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's kind of double-edged sword because it's awesome that we can say, we are able to help that many people, but that also means that there's that many people that need to be helped.
Yeah. And out of those 800,000 individuals, 122 million nutritious meals were provided.
Yeah, that's what we kind of hang our hat on. Is we're not just sending out candy bars and ice cream. We're sending out nutritious meals that people can fill their stomachs with, and not just kind of something that
it's not a bunch of Twinkies and junk food. It's nutritious meals that can really provide good health to people that are in need.
Exactly, because one of the way that we see it is if we're sending out food, we want to make sure people are using it to be healthy, and we're promoting a healthy lifestyle.
Right, and of this, I mean, what's shocking, y'all have some fantastic sponsors, but y'all had over 1,500 community partners.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are there some that really, I mean, they all are fantastic, but are there any that, stand out that really, help on, like, this is like part of what we are doing on a regular basis for our community? I saw that, HEB definitely is a big supporter, and they've not only are they giving with food, but they're giving with their funding as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of monetary donations that come in. I mean, we are a nonprofit at the end of the day, so we rely a lot on community donations and corporate donations, and like you said, HEB, Kroger's, Randall's, the Houston Texans are a huge sponsor of ours, and I mean, they actually sponsored our cafe area that we have when you first walk in. That's called our Texans Cafe. They put it on to sponsor it, so we have the bullhead logos everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So go Texans. We're constantly rooting for the Texans.
All right.
Maybe next year.
We're always rooting for the Texans. Mike, put that stat sheet back up there for us real quick. 48.6 million pounds of fresh produce. So, you figure a Houston Food Bank, it's cans.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked. 48.6 million pounds of fresh produce provided?
Yes, sir. So we are actually, I believe, still number one in the amount of or percentage of produce that we send out, which after last year was a little bit over 40% of everything that we send out is fresh produce. So like I said, this just goes back to the nutrition. We're not sending out, candy bars and sodas. We're sending out healthy, nutritious, fresh produce, to keep our families fed.
So something else that was pretty cool on that stat sheet is that y'all have like 1,500 nutrition classes. So not only are y'all providing food, but y'all are providing an educational understanding of what healthy food is or how to eat nutritiously.
Yeah, so that's one thing we always want to kind of send out into our community is anyone can learn about nutrition. We have an awesome nutrition ed team that they do like the really cool tasty videos on our Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. They make the little minute meals. They show you how to make them. They're really active on Instagram. They go out into the community to schools and they teach kids classes on how to be nutritious and maybe not that Snickers bar, but how about this apple? It tastes just as good, trust me.
Oh, so, it does.
Yeah, a nice apple is really good. People sleep on produce. I love apples. I love a good orange. I stand with produce.
Yeah, well, and I think the apple is one of y'all's logos,
yeah,
if not the logo. And in It's kind of cool because $1 equals, and it showed 3 apples, but $1 actually equals 3 nutritious meals for a family.
Yeah, and so that's one of the main things that we push is obviously we love food drives, and bringing in food is a huge help. But if you were to show up and say, hey, Sean, I have this basket full of food, I would say I would definitely take it from you. But I mean, if you showed up with a $5 bill, I can maybe able to buy 4 of those baskets. So it's just the money that you go, because of the relationships that we have with our retailers and the different grocers, a monetary donation can go just as far. So obviously, we encourage bringing in food drive donations, but funding is a major aspect of how we get a lot of food out.
The statistics, these numbers are so large. 3.7 million meals provided for children.
Yes,
just
sir.
Children.
Yeah.
And this is in 1 year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 in 4 children are considered food insecure. So if you have a family of 6 with 4 children, just look around. That number is not as great as we would like it to be. We're trying to fight to get that number way down.
And so these 3.7 million meals is for like kids cafe. We have the school market, and then also backpack buddy programs. So what is the backpack buddy program?
I love Backpack Buddy. So Backpack Buddy program is a program that we have that goes out to kids who are on the free and reduced lunch program. So kids who, if they go to school, they've been identified as food insecure. They get breakfast and lunch maybe either for free or on a reduced rate. And so what we do with that is we send out bags every Friday. They go out to these schools that have been identified as Kids Cafe sites and Backpack Buddy sites. And they send out these backpack bags, and they go out so that way the kids have food for over the weekend. So each bag contains about 6 meals worth of food. So that way they have food over the weekend. They're not focused on where their next meal is coming from. They can be completely full, maybe do some homework over the weekend, show up to school on Monday completely ready, alert, willing to learn, have a full stomach. Because I think they were saying a lot of the studies show that kids are more interactive in school and get better grades when they have a full stomach.
Yeah, definitely. They're not distracted.
Exactly.
So what is do y'all have I've been reading about this kitchen, and I think it's a remodeled kitchen. Is it the Keegan kitchen? Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir. It's our Keegan kitchen. So yeah, we did have it at our old facility on 59 and Cavalcade, but it was much smaller. So now when we were able to open our new facility about 6-7 years ago, they expanded it. So I believe it's over 100,000 square feet, all top of the line, cutlery and utensils, and they have monitors on the screens that keep a live count. So whenever you're making the meals, you can give a glance up and see how you're doing. And when it's completely full with volunteers, they can fit about 40 volunteers at a time, and they do about 20,000 meals a day.
20,000 meals a day. That is impressive. I'm just trying to get 3 square meals a day at my house. I'm joking, honey. I'm joking.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Hey, friends, I want to, and down in the link, there's a bunch of links for the Houston Food Bank. I mean, you can check them out on Facebook. They have an Instagram page. They're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And so I want to encourage y'all to bounce over there and take a look. Facebook.com/the Houston Food Bank is probably the best way of accessing. And I want to encourage y'all to share and like that page and get involved with those guys. It's a good program that truly benefits families and children in an impactful way. What kind of needs does the food bank need? I mean, you talked about financial, $1 equals 3 meals. If people want to bring in a hard product, is there a big need? Like, is there a focus? Do you want them to be bringing bananas and oranges? Is that ideal for y'all? Or
so we actually have a really good relationship with the retailers and the farmers, so we get a lot of good produce from them. So whenever we have food drives, we say specifically non-perishable items, so canned goods. And if you go on our website, whenever you go to fill out that food drive proposal form, you'll see a link for our most needed items. And that'll tell you the most needed items are canned protein, so canned chicken, canned tuna, canned fruits, canned vegetables, a lot of non-perishable items, because a lot of times when we bring stuff in, we actually have to fumigate everything for 48 hours. So we have to make sure it's all in cans, and that's way when it goes to the sorting, the carousel, they're able to wipe off everything and then send it over to the next, sort. So we really strive for non-perishable items, only because we are getting the perishable items, the produce and the fruit and everything from, a different outlet. So
I remember when we were there last June, we were so excited to come and volunteer, and we got 2 enormous pallets of beans. And we got to dip the tin can into the pallets of beans and fill Ziploc bags to be distributed. And when I talk about pallets, I mean, these pallets are almost as tall as I am.
Yeah.
And they're filled with nothing but beans. And I didn't think that we were going to get to the bottom, but we went through 2 pallets.
That's impressive.
And it's kind of like a competition.
Oh, yeah.
Back there to see how many pallets you can go through and sort, in your allotted time.
Yeah, no, that one's really cool, and that's also a really a kid-friendly activity. So we take volunteers as young as age 6. Mm-hmm. So bring your friends, bring your family, and we can put them in rice and put them in beans and have that bean sort. And you're working, the sealers, and you have the 2-pound bags, and you're putting them in boxes. So I mean, I always say, bring your kids. That's
right.
Everyone.
They weren't Ziploc bags. They were sealers.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Yeah, we dumped the beans in there. We threw it in the sealer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's absolutely correct. Now, y'all have this, we touched on it very briefly, but I want you to really get into it and talk to us about this Super Bowl of Caring. And it's not super SUPER, it's SOUPER.
Yeah.
Bowl of Caring. And so it started in January the 14th.
Yes, sir.
So about a week ago, and it goes all the way right up to Super Bowl and February the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
And so tell us about that. Dig deep on that one.
Yeah, so Super Bowl of Caring is another nonprofit that was started, I believe, 8 years ago out in North Carolina. A little small nonprofit that's really kind of grown over, and then what they're trying to do is they're trying to get every team or every city that has a football team to participate, and Houston has been one of the top ones just because we're a very evangelical city, a city that loves to give back, which we obviously saw during Hurricane Harvey. And basically what it is we actually have a deal with the grocers. So Kroger's, H-E-B, and Randall, they kind of put away their swords for about 3 weeks in January, and they have different ways of getting food to the Houston Food Bank towards this program. So, for instance, H-E-B has the tear pads. You go there and they tear off $1, $3, and $5. You can donate to the Houston Food Bank. Same thing with Kroger's. They have the little boxes that you can purchase, and all that money, all that food is going back to the Houston Food Bank, and then it is partnered with Super Bowl of Caring. And it's the foundation. The way that the organization came to be was they decided, okay, so everyone, during the football game, what do you have when you watch the game? You have, some chips, some dip, you have friends over.
Queso,
a lot of queso, yes, sir. There's a lot of food. People, usually blow it up for the big game. They'll have a lot of food. So the thought about it was there's some people who during the big game don't have food. And so what they're doing is you can get together with these grocers, Kroger's, H-E-B, Randall, go out there and donate. And not only donate, but volunteer. You can go volunteer at your local H-E-B, and you can, try to get people to, purchase these bags or purchase these boxes or, use the tear pads. So we're doing volunteer orientations at the Houston Food Bank. We had one this past Saturday. We have one tomorrow night from 6 to 8. So if you want to learn some more about it, I'll be, going over that class. So I'll be teaching that orientation. So come hang out with me, and I'll teach you a little bit more about it. And we can hopefully get you into, H-E-B to volunteer, and you can help bring in more money and more donations, food drive donations to the Houston Food Bank.
Is this an adult participation only, like the Houston Food Bank? Is it for adults only, or is it for all ages? Can you get everybody in?
Yeah, not at all. It's for all ages. Actually, a lot of the people who go out and do the volunteering are youth groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, sports teams at your local high school that they need, like I was saying, certain volunteer hours. They go out and they do it, donate their time to give back. And in those stores, the Kroger's, H-E-B's, and Randall's, I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, they also have the Red Barrel program. Yeah. So they have the Red Barrel. So if you're ever in Kroger's, H-E-B, or Randall's, I don't know if you've noticed, hopefully you have the big red barrels that have the Houston Food Bank sign in it. buy an extra couple cans. Cans aren't that expensive. Buy extra couple cans and just drop it into that red barrel. And they come back to the Houston Food Bank, and all those food drive donations from those red barrels, those get counted towards Super Bowl of Caring as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And an easy way to do that is if you see a 2-for-1, or if you and like you said, it's not very expensive to give back almost on a regular basis. I mean, buy an extra can of corn or extra peaches, like cans of peaches.
Yeah.
Are we good with that too?
Yeah, of course. Canned fruit, canned vegetables. We get a lot of, like you said, peaches, a lot of canned beans. You name a fruit or vegetable, chances are I've seen it in a can somewhere. So we'll take all of that for sure. We have different programs that we do when we send it out to the partner agencies that we partner with. They have strict guidelines that can tell people, hey, you can use this in this way. And that's another thing that we're teaching with our nutrition ed classes is, okay, I'm giving you this food. Here's what all you can do with it. Maybe kind of think outside of the box. Might be kind of, spilling the beans a little bit early. You get an exclusive, JJ, is they're trying to come out with a Houston Food Bank cookbook. So, again, that might not be, ready to come out yet. I might have spilled the beans on that. But I really hope we kind of move forward with that. That's been something that we've been talking about that I really hope we do, because I think a lot of people can learn from that. And like I said, you get these ingredients, maybe I don't know what to do with squash. I know as a 28-year-old, kind of bachelor, I definitely don't know what to do with squash. So a cool cookbook, something like that, would definitely teach you some cool recipes.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that exclusive with me. We're going to be blasting that. Hey, so is there, and I didn't ask you this question before we came on, but is there an experience that you have had or have witnessed to where the benefit of the Houston Food Bank has truly helped a family or a group of people, like a community, to really be able to take the focus off of hunger to where they can focus on what they need to accomplish?
Yeah, we have a lot of different success stories. I think they're starting to post some on our website. One of my favorite ones is there was a young lady who was in college. She was at a local community college, and her family kind of fell in some hard times, and so she was thinking about withdrawing from school to work full time. And that's completely unfortunate. We definitely want you to focus on your education, because that can take you very far. So through our one of our Food for Change programs that we have is working with some of the community colleges to set up a pantry at the community college where students can get what we call a food scholarship. So they can get X amount of food per semester or per quarter, or however the school does it. And we got her put on that program. She's back in school, and I believe she's set to graduate with her bachelor's in May, I believe. So that's a really cool story. She's back on track, and she's set to graduate, and I know she's going to do really awesome things. I think she's in fashion design, so get some really cool new clothes coming out.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great story. And you kind of, I remember growing up hearing that as a challenge for some families, that you couldn't finish college because you had to go and help the family provide meaning food. Yeah. And by taking that stress away really allows people to get that education so they can improve themselves and maybe improve their situation to where they can be self-sustainable. And Houston Food Bank is a great part of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I just got out of school, so I can tell you with tuition and books and all your expenditures, I mean, there's definitely some ramen noodle nights that we're trying to cut way, way back, because I love ramen just as much as the next person, but it is really, really unhealthy. So we want to make sure we're getting out, like I said, the nutritious meals.
That's cool. Cool, Sean. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun understanding and digging deep about what the Houston Food Bank has to offer, and then your position over there with Community Engagement Coordinator, and creating events and getting out there and getting people excited about a way that they can participate and help their community. And so thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to subscribing and telling all my friends about the Y experience. So.
Well, cool, buddy. Thank you. We have a lot of cool, interesting guests. Mike, bring that music up. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to encourage everyone to seek out their why. In every experience they create, ask yourself, why am I doing what I do? And what is the effect it is having on me and potentially others? In addition to that, ask, is it a positive return or is it not? I hope in everything we do, it is for the better. All right, friends, I will talk to y'all. I'll be back next week, and we got another fantastic show planned out for next week. Please share the Y Experience, like the Y Experience, and follow. Drop us some comments down below. Hit us up in the DM on Instagram. And until next week, y'all just have a fantastic, memorable time. The Y Experience with JJ Cannon, sponsored by Digital Delight, making holiday tech shopping easy. Take a look at their website at digitaldelight.com/shop, where they are featuring 6 must-haves to turn your basic home into a smart home. Support the Y Experience with JJ Cannon by becoming a Patreon. Every month, the Y Experience will receive a regular source of income from supporters like you who've pledged through Patreon. Having your ongoing support for as little as $1 a month means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.